And that's gotten us our net worth. We track every year, climbed every year. And then we reached our goal of over $1 million net worth in 2023.
That's awesome. Okay, thanks, Carissa, for being willing to join us today and give us the rundown on your money journey as a PA. So before we get into the money stuff, tell me about you and your professional career.
All right. Well, I graduated PA school in 2016. And at that time, I worked as a hospitalist for about 1.5 years. And then I switched to being an ortho PA for about 6 years. And then in the last year, our family had an opportunity to move states. And I decided to leave medicine clinically for the time and be home with the 2 boys.
Love it. Love it. So let's talk about the money side of things, because there's not a lot of people, even if they wanted to, that could take a season away from clinical work, whether it's full-time or even part-time, to be with kids, even if it was their heart's desire. So I know your story. I know you did some stuff leading up to that point. Tell us a little bit about how you guys went about the process of investing, dealing with debt, wealth building, that piece.
I graduated with, I'd say, a little over $250,000 in debt. Most of that was student debt and a car payment as well. My husband thankfully did not have any student debt, which helped, but felt like a mountain to get over. And we decided to live off of one income and put all of my income to debt. And we paid that off in about 5 years.
Huge.
And we kind of kicked it into gear. We were investing along the way, but I would say more minimally. And then really started to maximize accounts, use the 401k option, the backdoor Roth IRAs, HSAs. That's pretty much where we've been investing the last, so that means last at least almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's gotten us our net worth. We track every year, and that has climbed every year. And then we reached our goal of over $1 million net worth in 2023.
That's awesome. So you guys have been millionaires for a little minute now. Now, did the millionaire mark predate your decision to say, hey, I'm going to step back and spend some more time with kids?
Yes, we crossed that goal and then kind of started to reevaluate where we wanted to be spending our time. And a lot of that was at work and with our first child in daycare for sometimes 10 hours a day. That didn't feel very good. And so when the opportunity came where we had to move, but change careers, kind of given us a new little adventure. But I think it's been great having the boys at home, and they get to spend most of their time with us. It's just kind of I never saw myself doing it, but it's been a blessing for sure.
I think that's the beauty that comes from actually getting intentional with your finances early. Because really, you've been intentional the whole time. At the beginning, it was a lot of debt, a little investing. Then it was a lot of investing. But like your whole professional journey of like a decade, you've been intentional with money. And so then when the time came where you're like, this thing I'm doing doesn't really feel like it aligns, you get a choice, right? That's the huge benefit of doing what you did. Reality, a lot of people don't have that choice,
Yeah, absolutely. And now the next step will be, when do we get my husband to be home more or remote, or not have to put in as many hours? And putting that financial piece ahead and setting that goal really allows you to have that freedom and flexibility, which is exciting.
Do you have a age that you want to be like totally financially independent? Do you have like one of the smaller financial independence, like a Coast Fire goal? What's your next?
I think our goal is, if we continue the way we are investing now, in 7 to 8 years, I don't think we won't not work at all. But where we can step back and say, okay, we don't really need this job, and we can kind of go and do whatever we want.
And just curious, what will whatever we want look like? Do you know?
Probably the next move will be moving out west, closer to family. Potentially a remote job for my husband, or just a job where he doesn't have to be there 10 hours a day.
Nice.
And then just feel comfortable with still maintaining the lifestyle we've created, still travel, still invest for the boys.
Nice. I love it.
Time together.
That is a really common trend, I feel like, amongst parent medical professionals. Well, amongst all medical professionals, I always hear we still want to be able to travel. That's like a thing. It seems to be a big source of fulfillment. But then the other thing amongst parent medical professionals a lot of times we'll hear, and we want to invest for kids.
Mhm.
And so it's cool to hear that you're able to do that, still create your own financial independence, but then being able to do those things for your boys too. It's exciting. And again, not a lot of people have the ability to do that because they have to put every dollar just to kind of maintaining their basic retirement. And
Mhm.
fortunately, because you guys front loaded your portfolio so much, that's not you.
Yes, definitely once you hit seeing that compound interest, makes it
Makes a
fun
difference. Yep,
and
makes a
more,
difference.
much more worth it.
Right. Okay, I have to ask you this because to be honest, it is very hard to convince a brand new grad to take their financial life serious because a lot of people feel like, hey, I'm young, I've got time, whatever. I'm going to focus on buying a new car, buying a house, whatever it is. But you didn't do that. So what was the thing that really, from the very beginning, you knew you were going to be serious about a money plan?
I think I saw my debt as such a burden. And I think people see us graduate and think, oh, you're doing so great. You're going to be making so much money. And yes, it's a great career and you do have a good salary, but they don't see the payment.
Yeah.
They don't see how long you're going to be making that payment for. It's like another house payment. And so I think just to try to get out from underneath it was motivation to get rid of it. And I probably could have invested more along the way and probably would have been a little bit more ahead. But I don't think I regret paying it off as fast as we did. But I also felt like I had a lot more compared to most people. But it's sometimes it's kind of average, unfortunately.
Yeah, it does feel like that. I mean, by technical standards, you're above averages for PAs, but I've heard from plenty of PAs with debt in the exact same category as you. And to be honest, a lot of them clear it through public service loan forgiveness because the debt to income ratio is high enough that it makes a lot of sense. But you knock that all out yourself while working in private practice, which is pretty darn impressive.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
It took a sacrifice, but I think even and early on, I don't think you feel the sacrifice as much because you're used to not having a paycheck.
Yep.
Used to kind of living. So we never really felt that increase in pay, I guess, as much. And so then when we were putting so much away, you didn't feel like you were suffering or sacrificing as much as you probably look back and see you were or what you could have been doing.
It is so different when you try, if you start paying off debt or aggressively investing or whatever that is from the beginning, even though you're not spending all of your income, you still feel like you're spending more because you're used to nothing. And then if you get a higher paying job and you just repeat the cycle, you end up like never living outside of your means, but always feeling like you're getting more as you go. Where I think what's really hard is when you've had an ingrained lifestyle of spending all of $100,000 a year for 10 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh shoot, I need to make a change. That's when things get tricky. It's easier to do what both of us did, really, and start with that lifestyle slow increase from the very beginning.
And then it makes you don't have to change your habits. You don't have to change. It's just easier in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what is next for you guys from a wealth building journey standpoint? Do you have a plan? Are you going to continue like stock bond investing? Do you have plans to branch out of that? What do you think?
For the most part, we are doing stock bond investing. We opened up a brokerage account last year to just to put more money in because it's been a change since I don't have my 401k. We're still trying to figure out where we put these buckets of money. We've thought about real estate, right, back and forth on that. And then I think really what we'd love to do is be entrepreneurs and try to find our own business. Now, what that is, not sure.
Yeah.
But something where we can generate our own income and be even more flexible.
That's cool. I love that.
But no solid plan.
Okay. Nice. Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Entrepreneurship is the best personal development journey there is. So I'm sure you guys will have a blast together if you decide to go that route. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Carissa, for being willing to share your story. I know a lot of people with big dollar student loan debt, exactly like you have, feel like they're never going to be able to overcome it. They're never going to be able to cross that millionaire mark because they have this huge blemish on the liability side of their net worth statement. But you are like exhibit A, that it is totally possible to handle the debt, to still build wealth, and to get the lifestyle benefits that you wanted out of the back end as well.
It's possible.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Cool.
All right. Well, I have to run, but thank you for doing this.
Good
I
to
so
see your
appreciate
face.
it. Yeah, good to see you. And we'll have to chat soon, as I'm sure we have more life updates coming
Yes.
up.
I'll check in soon.
All right. Well, I'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Bye.